and gals, my name is Daniel Lee, the youth director here at Hope Springs Church. I hope today is doing well for you because it is also doing well for me. You see, we're about to start our Discipleship Now, book number 2, today. So I'm excited for that, and I hope you're excited as well. You see, this is a 6-week lesson about getting to know Christ. In these 6 weeks, we're going to look at different topics about how to grow your relationship with Christ. The first lesson is evangelism, which will be this coming week. We're going to talk about evangelism and how evangelism relates to getting to know Christ. In fact, if you look at the calling of the disciples, the first thing Jesus tells them is he's going to make them fishers of men. And I'm excited to teach you how Jesus calls his disciples to call disciples. And this is exciting because evangelism is one of the main commandments that Jesus has given us as Christians. The second thing is God's loving sovereignty. Sometimes it's hard to know that God is loving during hard times. And I want this lesson to guide you knowing that God is in control, that Romans 8:28 is founded in truth, that all things work together for good of those who love the Lord. And that love from the Lord comes from the Lord, and it's God's loving sovereignty that keeps us going. The third lesson will be spiritual warfare. Everybody in life has a struggle with the flesh and the spirit. Paul speaks of the struggle of the flesh and the spirit, that it's a struggle that he struggles with, that everyone struggles with, that the flesh sometimes makes you do what you don't want to do, and when you want to do something, you can't do it because of the flesh. And this is a real thing that real people struggle with, and I'm excited about going through lesson number 3 with you. Lesson number 4 is following Jesus, because that's the main thing about being a Christian, is following Jesus. In fact, Christian means little Christ. That we're a little Christ following Jesus, be acting like Jesus. What does it mean to be little Christians, to be Christians, people who are following Jesus? The fifth lesson is promises of God. You see, Jesus was a promise from the Old Testament from God. And now Jesus has left us with the new promises, and we're going to be looking at the new ones and the old ones. The sixth lesson is knowing God's will. Because this is a question that older Christians struggle with and younger Christians alike. The most common question I get is, what is God's will for my life? And we're going to go through knowing God's will in lesson number 6. So I hope you join me in this journey all 6 weeks in order to grow in Christ. You know, how does this Discipleship Now book number 2 work? Well, let me tell you, the first thing, I'll be posting a video to kick off each lesson. So this week I'll be kicking off lesson number 1 with evangelism and talking about what does it mean to be an evangelist and go through the different principles of evangelism. Then you will meet in your discipleship group, which is a group between 2 to 5 people who are growing in Christ, that they are getting together, going through the booklets together. That doesn't mean you do them in that moment, but this means that you're talking about the questions that have come up while you did it on your own, saying, hey, this question number 3 here has impacted me. Or this passage has impacted me. Guys, what did you get for this passage or this question? We had discussed the discipleship book. And then you will meet up with an adult leader, me, or maybe another adult leader that we have, and we will talk about the case study. How the case study works is I'll give you a quick little stories and background of the story. And you, using the lesson resource that you have, or any other life experience that you have, take the case study and do your due diligence in presenting whatever the case study says to somebody else. Maybe this is a evangelism one where you talk about evangelizing to other people. Or maybe this is a case study about a friend who doesn't know the promises of God. So you would talk about how you would share the promises of God with them. So the case study is simply this study, a practice case. And the third way is to meet with me, where we're going to go over your case studies. And the case study is a kind of a fake life experience, a simulation of sorts of a written idea. Maybe I present a friend who is struggling with their salvation, or maybe I'm presenting a friend that you have to share the gospel with. And how do you relate what you've learned in this lesson or your life experience to this person in order to help them grow in Christ or discover Christ? So these are the 3 ways that you're going to interact with each other and myself through this next 6 lessons is that first, you will watch this video, or the next, not this video, but first, you will watch the video for the lesson. Second, you'll get with your Discipleship Now group and discuss the housework. And third, you will discuss the case study with me as we grow in Christ. Now, I'm excited about doing this and hope you're excited about doing this. Lesson 1 will be in this playlist, so click the playlist and watch lesson 1 whenever you want. And after you do the lesson, the housework, and the case study, you can move on to the next lesson. I'll see you all in lesson 1.